That was really bad. Okay. I just thoroughly confused the whole class. All right, so I'm recording this. Share screen. All right, let's do this again. It's 8 feet tall right now. That's the mistake I made. I did not read that carefully. That's my fault. So it's 8 feet tall initial. That's the initial height. Okay, it grows 8 inches each year. Okay, so if you want to get to 30 feet, so you can think of it like this. Need to gain 22 feet. If you times that by 12, so I'm going to grab a calculator on my phone. 22 times 12, I got 264 inches. Okay. Then I want to divide that by 8. The action answer is 33. So it's 8 feet tall right now. It needs to gain 22 more feet. That's obvious because you have to get 30 feet. If it's doing 8 inches each year, we could also do this: 8 inches 1 year, 264 inches X years. That's another we could look at too. But you do have to convert to 22 feet to inches, so you're comparing the same unit. So sorry, I confused you guys. The answer is 33. Now let's look at the second one. Again, if you have questions, just chime in.
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm just a little confused why you did 26 instead of 22.
I didn't do 26. I did 22.
But then if we were going to solve it the other way, you said 8 over 1 equals 26 over x. Because isn't 30 minus 8 22?
Right. But no, that's 264.
Oh.
That's 264.
Right.
So,
I thought 26.
no worries. Yeah, sorry, I was a little confused. Okay. No, but thank you for clarifying. Okay. Now, next one. Aaron reads X pages of a science fiction book in M minutes. So let's say in 10 minutes, say he's a voracious reader. He can read, let me change colors actually. So in 10 minutes, let's say he reads 20 pages. Okay, great. So it's 2 pages per minute. Now, if he continues reading at this rate, we'll be in our page reads in 20 m seconds. It'll be 20 times 10, which of course is 200. But it's 200 seconds, mind you. So that's a bit of a problem because these units are not the same. So you make them the same. You just do a new ratio and say, okay, 2 pages, 60 seconds, because 6 seconds belongs to 1 minute, and X pages, 200 seconds. Now go and solve for X. 400 equals 60X, be 400 over 60. You can do a little reduction. They're both divisible by 2. So you get 20/3. Now just plug in 20 to each choice. And then we get the answers A, or the first choice. So that's how you can kind of make sense of these problems. It might seem a little confusing initially because they change the units between minutes to seconds and they do 20 m seconds, which is kind of weird. So how do you deal with that? Don't try to think about these algebraically. It's really better. I mean, it's really better to kind of plug in numbers for X and M and then kind of just make sense of it that way. So 20 pages in 10 minutes, or it's 2 pages per minute. So you can figure out how many pages it does in 20 m seconds. So it'd be 200 seconds because m is 10. Convert the units to make sure they're all the same. So I convert 1 minute to 6 seconds, and then you just work it out. So that's that one there. So these are the kind of problems we'll see eventually. Let's look at here. Based on the diagram below, what is the average number of hours worked? So this is dealing statistics. So apparently 3 people work 30 hours. So you do 3 times 30. 5 people work 34 hours, you do 5 times 34. 9 people work 40 hours, you do 9 times 40. 2 people work 45 hours. 1 person worked 50 hours. So what you're trying to do is when you're trying to find the average, it's going to be the total hours divided by the total number of workers. So you first have to figure out the total number of hours that were worked. So that's 90 and 170. Choose a calculator, 360, 90, and 50. Add all that up. I think it's 760. Let me just double check, make sure I got that correctly. 34 times 5, yep, 170 plus 90 plus 360 plus 90 plus 50, yep, 760. And if I have all the people, I think that's 20 people. Actually, duh, it tells that. So 760 out of 20, because that's what average is, right? Taking the total amount of hours, right, that we're dealing with, divided by the number of people. So divide that by 20. 760 divided by 20, so you get 38. It's not hard. The math's actually pretty easy there. Just have to realize what average is. That's what you're doing, and how to read the chart carefully. And we call this a histogram or frequency bar chart. Bar charts obviously see bars there, and frequency showing how often each of those things happen. How many people were working 30 hours? 3 people. How many people were working 34 hours? 5 people, and so forth. Any questions so far here? We're good? Okay. Hey, Mel, welcome.
Can you show 1 and 2 again? Sorry, I got here late.
Oh, sure, no worries. I'll do it really quickly. Okay. I am recording this. So for number 1, really quickly, initially the tree is 8 feet. You want to get to 30 feet. So it's a change of 22 feet. Or 22 times 12 inches. So if you do 22 times 12, that's 264 inches. So that's how much we want the tree to grow. Well, if it does 8 inches in 1 year, then you do a proportion. You forget how many years it gets to 264. If you cross multiply, this would be 264 over 8, which I think is 33. So you just have to read it carefully that it started 8 feet, then you got to 30 feet, so it's a change of 22 feet, change the inches, because this is given in inches, right?
Mm-hmm.
You set up a proportion.
Okay.
Two ratios of equal value. Then for number 2, I made up numbers here. Let's say this guy reads 20 pages in 10 minutes. So 20 pages in 10 minutes. But now you want to know how many pages he reads in 20 seconds. 20 times 10. So X pages in 200 seconds. The problem is that our units here are not the same for the time on each side of the equation here. We know these ratios have to be equal in value, so it might be best to convert one of these to seconds. So if I do 20 pages over 600 seconds, because 10 times 60, and X pages over 200 seconds, If I cross multiply, I get 4,000 equals 600x.
Right.
Yeah, and if you work that out, I think it's like 6.66. And when you plug in 20 into here, you do get 6.66. You plug in 20 into each choice to get a match. Because remember, we let x be 20. So that's how you tackle those problems.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. And it's probably good anyway that I did that for those who were here a little earlier. They probably needed the reinforcement, so it's always good to hear it again. Those fourth math questions, the last math question is Google form. Again, it's pretty straightforward. It's just average, right? So it's just a sum of numbers divided by the number of numbers. That makes sense. So you add them all up, n plus n minus 3 plus 2n plus 1 plus 3n minus 4 plus 5n plus 10. All that's divided by 5. So you got 5 numbers, obviously. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can set this sucker equal to 8. Cross multiply, 40 equals, and then you combine all these n's here. Goodness, that's 12n. That's minus 2 minus plus 4, I think. So 36 equals 12n. Make sure I did this correctly. Give me a sec here. Really easy to make a careless mistake. Yeah, I think I did it right. So n is 3. So now your numbers are going to be 3 and 0 and 7 and 5 and 25. Remember, all I'm doing is I'm plugging in 3 in each of those choices. So 3 for n. So I have 3, 0, 7, 5, and 25. So I want the average of that. Well, actually, let me rank them first. The median's a middle number when they're ranked. So I definitely know it's not C or D. And then average is when you add them all up and divide by the number of numbers. That's going to be 40 over 5. No, they won't average. Gosh. That's still, obviously I know the answer is 8. Sorry, that was stupid. This is why you got to read carefully and not get too ahead of yourself. They want the range. The range is high minus low. Range is really easy. Range is high minus low. 25 minus 0 is 25. That's your range. So the answer is B for that one. So these are a little bit labor intensive, but they're pretty straightforward. They're not that hard. So we're going to do some practice of that later today. Actually, so I don't confuse you guys, we'll come back to grammar in a little while. So let's actually hit up some math practice so you guys can do some problems just like what we did. Then we'll do a little break around 4 o'clock, and then we'll do some grammar practice after that. We'll come back to Google form in a little while. All right, so let's pull up the curriculum. And this is all in the Dropbox, sorry, in the Schoology folder. You could download and print these, or you could just work up from the screen, or just kind of watch and print these later. So if you look at the table of contents, lots of enriched proportions. The Google form had a lot of that. Percentage probability are kind of similar to ratio proportions. Data tables we kind of looked at a little bit. Charts, graphs, mean, median, mode, range, and so forth. So let's start with page 388. And I'll probably do a couple of these problems here and have you guys try a couple on your own. So 1 and 3. Sarah typed 2/5 of the book, Jaime typed 3/7, Rosie did the rest. Was the ratio number of pages Sarah typed to the number of pages Jaime typed to the number of pages Rosie typed? Okay, what I probably would do is maybe assume $35 total pages. Why I think I chose 35? Anyone can chime in.
Because of 5 times 7.
Yep. It's the LCD for the fraction, so that just makes it easy. So now I can actually come up with specific numbers for Sarah and Jaime. 2/5 times 35 and 3/7 times 35. Now, it won't matter what number you make up for the total pages because it's all relative, right? If you increase the number of pages, everything else increases proportionally. So for each person, it doesn't matter. That's 70 out of 5. You can use a calculator. They say no calculator. That's bogus. They'll let you use one for a problem like this. 14. That's 105 out of 7, which I think is 15. So it means that Rosie did the rest. So she did 6 pages. So the ratio of Sarah, Jaime, and Rosie is 14 to 15 to 6. A is an apple. So if we're okay with that one. Now let's take a look at 3. At Stern School, 1/3 of incoming freshmen spoke a foreign language fluently. By junior year, an additional 30 students have become fluent in a foreign language, raising the number to 1/2 of all juniors. So this is the same class, right? Like say it's the class of 2023, right? And you know, when they're freshmen, and X will be number of students. When they're juniors, half of them now speak. But you're told that the number of freshmen plus 30, number of freshmen who speak fluently. Let me rephrase that. Plus 30 more students, because 30 additional students is an equal number of juniors who speak fluently. Because the number of juniors who speak fluently is more than the number of freshmen who speak fluently from 2 years prior. So this involves some translating. No pun intended, but translating mathematically, right? You're taking the words and making the mathematical statement. So that's just going to be 1/3 x plus 30 equals 1/2 x. That's how you want to set it up. Then we can kind of work backwards if we want to kind of see which one would fit. I mean, you can solve algebraic if you wanted to, but once you have an equation, we just work backwards. Like we'll assume 120 people are in the class. So let me actually make a little more space here. Freshmen and juniors, remember you're doing 1/3. So 30, 40, 60, and 80. Then doing 1/2 for the juniors, 45, 60, 90, and 120. It's pretty clear the answer is going to be C. because 60 plus 30 equals 90. You probably didn't have to do the translating, I guess. You could have just done what I did in red. That would, but you had to still realize that juniors have to be 30 more than the freshmen in terms of who could speak fluently during those years. So, a little bit of translating, a little bit of working backwards there. So now we'll have you guys do, any questions about what I just did so far? No? Okay. Yeah, so now we'll have you guys do is I'll have you guys go and break out. Or actually, let's have you guys do it on your own for now. No, we'll do breakout rooms. I like that. We'll do breakout rooms instead. So I'm having you guys do 2 and 4. This is on page 388. So 2 and 4 on page 388. So if you have this printed, great. If you don't, all you have to do is just go to Schoology. Go to our group page for that, whichever one has access, and just click on resources. Click on ST Math, and just click on Unit 3 right here. Might take a little while to load. And obviously you're just going to scroll to page 388. Yeah, there we go. You guys are going to work on 2 and 4 here. So even if you don't have the hard copy printed, you can just pull up from Schoology. So yeah, let me put you guys in breakout rooms. Let me close that down. And we'll do just 2 rooms. It'll be random. And I'll give you guys 4 minutes. And yeah, can we open up the rooms? Right, go ahead and join the rooms. Oh, say Taylor, we'll sign the breakout room 1.
All right.
All right, so you guys are back.
Yes.
Let's go over the answers for those problems.
Hello.
Yeah, so here are the answers. The answers are B for number 2. Oh, let me share my screen, sorry.
I got B. No one else believed me in my group.
But good. I mean, good. It's too bad they didn't believe you, but that's good that you. And okay. Yeah. So for number 2, really quickly. So the elevation of Mount Peak is approximately 20% less than a nearby peak. So nearby peak is 6195. So you want to do 6195 times 0.2. And if I just simply use a calculator, yeah, if you don't see the no calculator statement next to the question, feel free to use one. That's 1239. Yeah, so you get 49. So that's close enough, 4950. And then for 4, the answer is 44. So they say that 80 gallons of water and 6 pounds of cement makes 20 feet of sidewalk. So if you want 11 feet of sidewalk, how much water do you need? So 80 gallons of H2O makes 20 feet. So the cement is actually not really needed. So X gallons of H2O is 11 feet. Cross multiply, 880 equals 20x. You just get 44. So that's another kind of ratio type problem you can see. Any questions about those? We're good? Okay. There's more, I mean, looking at the table of contents again, there's more in ratio proportions and obviously there's other stuff here. I want to jump to data tables because I do want to give you guys a break around 4 o'clock and we're not going to be able to go through all of these problems, but I want to talk about data tables and then mean, median, mode, range, and then give you guys a chance to do some practice with those two categories. So I'm going to go to page 403 on data tables. Here we go. Yeah. I know for certain that number 4 makes no sense. So I'm going to cross that one off. So we'll look at number 2. So number 2. This is on page 406, by the way. So what's going on here? We're looking at 3 different grade levels: elementary, junior high, and high school, males and females, and just saying how many people are at each of those schools. So apparently at the elementary school, there are 27 males, 30 females. At junior high, there are 14 males, 26 females, high school 3 and 20. And this is for a summer dance camp, by the way. So maybe just survey like, hey, do you go to like, elementary, junior high, or high school, and are you boy or girl, right? So apparently 120 people total. So we got to read this very carefully, very, very carefully. So I'll get a highlighter out. If one attendee be chosen at random from among the junior high and high school attendees, what's the probability that you get a male in junior high? Now, probability, just so you know, is the number of favorable outcomes divided by the total number of outcomes. For the situation described. So what is the situation described here? The situation that is described is that you're dealing with junior high school students. So if you're only doing junior high and high school students, you're looking at 63 people total. And you want a male in junior high, there's 14 males in junior high. That's your answer. I don't see that in the choices, but I will reduce. I notice that each is divisible by 7 to get 2 ninths. That's why it's C. You have to very, very carefully dissect it in the manner I did. They didn't want out of all possible students here in the dance camp, because they didn't say that. They said that if you only choose from among junior high and high school attendees, so only 63 people you're looking at, of those 63 people, how many would be a boy and in junior high? So it's got to be both a boy and junior high. And according to the table, I see there are 14 males who are in junior high, and so it's 14 out of 63. So it's not hard, you just have to read carefully. So in a way that does kind of cover probability, even though we're not looking at the probability section, we're looking at the data table section, but it's incorporated here. Any questions about that one? No? Okay. So I am going to have you guys in groups do 1 and 3 in a little bit. I'm actually looking to shift in the student version with you, sorry. I'll go back to page 408 again. Wait, where was I? Sorry, 406. So I'll have you guys do 1 and 3 in just a little bit. Let's look at the last section on mean, median, mode, and range. I'll probably wind up doing this page here. Then I'll have you guys do the stuff on the following page. Yeah, so let's look at this here. Okay, so here we've got more stuff on tables. So here we have like all these different years. I guess this is according to probably the Olympics for men's hockey, so it looks like, and whether you want a gold or silver. So starting in 1920, Canada won a gold, US won a silver, same thing in 1924. Canada seems to be really good at hockey for obvious reasons, so they won a lot of gold medals and kind of recently as well. US, not so hot, they did win in 1960, and in 1980, that was actually a very famous hockey event because it was played in the US and they beat the Soviet Union, who was very good at hockey before they dissolved or communists fell. Soviet Union was very good as well, so it seems. And then they have something called the Unified Team. We're going to talk about that in just a little bit. And they tell you the host country as well. Actually, let's look at number 2. Number 2 might be pretty easy. During how many years was the gold medal won by the host country? So Belgium obviously didn't win in 1920. France didn't win in 1924. Switzerland did not win. So you just kind of go through each one by one. US did not win in 1932. Germany did not win in 1936. Switzerland. So I'm trying to look for a match between gold medal and the host country. It looks like we do get a match in 1960. For those who are curious, that actually was held in Lake Tahoe. I think it was at Squaw Valley, the 1960 Olympics. 1980, that was at Lake Placid, Michigan, for those who are curious. I don't see any of the matches right now. In 2010, I think that was in Vancouver. Canada won the gold and hosted. I don't see any other matches between gold and host. So, again, it's not hard. You just have to look at it carefully. I think that would cover it. So yeah, so only 3. So yeah, so that's pretty easy, right? So the answer is C for number 2. Now the next one's a little wordy, and sometimes when you get these really wordy ones, sometimes if it doesn't come to you right away, I suggest you may skip and come back to it later, because they give you a lot of fluff here too. So because the Unified Team represented the former Soviet republics after the break of the Soviet Union, which by the way happened in 1989 or 90, I think, many people count the Unified Team gold medal as another medal for the Soviet Union. So the 1992 Unified Team won. You could think it was the same as the Soviet Union. Some people don't think that way. But those who do, that means that 6 different countries have won the gold medal. And the median number of gold medal wins among these 6 countries would be M. Some people do count, so do not count the unified as the same as the Soviet Union, so they count as a different country, because the unified team, I think, you know, included all the countries that are now broken up, like Ukraine and Kazakhstan and so forth. In this case, 7 different countries have won the gold medal. And that represents the median would be N for that. So here's how you're going to look at this. If you do think of the unified team as the Soviet Union, because they won a lot of medals, then it seems that that would be, if you count it, so you won 8 medals. Canada, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, won also 8 medals. Great Britain, looks like they won 1. The Czech Republic, looks like they won 1. USA, won 2. And Sweden, 1, 2. So when you want to find the median, you just rank those in order. Now, when you have an even number of numbers, you average the middle 2 to get the median. So in this case, that's what M equals. Now, make sure I counted that correctly. Yeah, USA 1, 2, Sweden 1, 2. Yeah. So M equals 2. Now, what if the unified team counts as its own country? And you have to make an adjustment. That'd be 7 now. And unified team would be 1. So now if I rank this, that's 1, 1, 1, and then 2, 2, 7, 8. Your median is going to be still 2. So again, it's not hard, just a little bit labor intensive. And if I look at the choices, obviously it's 0, so the answer is A. So if that one makes sense. In interest of time, I want to make sure I give you guys a break around 4. So let's actually do this. I'm going to have you guys do page 406, 1 and 3. So right here, 406, 1 and 3. And 417, 3 and 4. 4 is going to be a little weird, but I'll go over if you guys are stuck. So again, 406, 1 and 3. And 417, 3 and 4. So you might want to write that down somewhere. So 406, 1 and 3, 417, 3 and 4. Those are the problems you guys are going to be working on right now. So I'll put you guys in breakout rooms again. So we got 8 people. So we'll do, let me recreate these. We'll do 4 rooms. Yeah, so you'd be working in pairs. Okay, again, 406, 1 and 3, 417, 3 and 4. All right, and I'll give you guys, say 6 minutes to do that. Then we'll talk about it and then we'll reconvene. All right, let's go to your rooms. Great. So let's go over those answers very quickly. I'll give you guys a break. Let me pull it up here. So here are the answers for 1 and 3 on page 406. So an outlier is something that's out of the ordinary, like that really is different from the rest of the data. So, oh, let me share my screen. Hold on. Here we go. Yeah, so an outlier is something that's out of the ordinary. So this is 1 and 3 on page 406 of the ST Math Unit 3 packet. So most of the field goal kicks are about in the mid 50s or so. The lowest one is probably 46. So if you take, so right now the range is 63 minus 46. The range is always high minus low. The range is 17 right now. If you take away the 63-yard field goal, then the highest one would then be 56. So now the range changes by quite a bit. Now the range is 10. Actually, no, sorry, 57 minus 46. 57 is the second highest. So that changes quite a bit. The mode is the most often, and it looks like 52 is the most often. So that stays the same. That didn't matter if you took 63 out of the mix here. The median maybe would change. I don't know. You could rank them, but I would suspect it wouldn't change that much because it seemed like they're all kind of pretty close together. I know D doesn't make any sense because the mode didn't change, the range did. So yeah, I would say C. I mean, if you want to actually calculate the median, you could. I mean, you could like list them all, but I think it's a waste of time. I think kind of just by inspection, you'd realize it has to be the range. 3 is very similar to number 2, which you did a few minutes ago. You're only focused on those who completed. So if one of the person who completed office course chosen ramp, so only those who completed, that's 85 people. How many did not train doing pull-ups? Obviously 18 out of 85. So that's just number 3. Then going to page 417. For number 3, they're asking which of the following, for which of the following 3-year periods is the average of that period close to the production at 1992? The production at 1992 is 20. That's obvious. So then, that's just what we got. So we don't know which one we gave the same average. Well, 1991 is about 25. The other one's about 15. 94 is about 30. That's probably about 35. That's probably about 30. That's probably about 20. 91 to 93, if I were to average all those, and you see the word which of the following, that's process of elimination. So yeah, if I were to average that, you should get 20. So easy peasy. This was a little bit weird. Now we're going to do a break. For number 4, yeah, the answer is C. So yeah, the median is 2,200. The mean is 2,400. What would explain that? Why do you see such a big difference? Let me kind of give you this example. Let's say in my math class, let's say I give a really hard test. And let's say a bunch of people got these scores, and they had this, just that one guy got 100%, right? So my median, of course, is 50. My mean, however, is when I add them all up. So 50 times 6 plus 100 divided by 7, which is 400 over 7. Let me use my cell phone here. 400 over 7. That's 57.14%. So clearly that one person pushed the mean a little higher. The median was 50. So what this tells me is that there's probably just that one person that's really pushing the mean to be high. That's why there are a few colonies that population is higher than the rest. There's maybe a few, like maybe 4 or 5. There might be 100 colonies or thousands of colonies that don't have as many ants. But there's those few that are really high that pushes it to the right. It's kind of like if you were to say, like, what's the average population for each state in the United States of America? A state like California and New York would probably push the average. Maybe it's like 5 million, but some states don't have that many people. Or you could say, like, for example, if you ever go on Zillow or Redfin, like any of those real estate sites, and they say, what's the average home value in San Mateo County? You'll probably see about $2 or $3 million. And so you're like, well, there's some homes are, not all the homes, like in my neighborhood, they're not worth that much. That's because you have people in Atherton and Hillsborough, and those homes are very, very expensive. So it pushes the average, but there's only a few homes, right? It's not that many homes in those communities compared to the rest of San Mateo County. So that's how you have to kind of look at this, is there's only a few that would push. Now, if you had a bunch of high scores, and you have one low score, your median is 100, but the average score is lower. So that one low score is pushing the average down. Then it's the other way around. There's a few that have less than the rest. But in this case, there's a few that have more than the rest. So that's why it's C. That's how you want to look at it. And that's something I have seen on actual official exams. So you just have to kind of just think logically through it. Okay, let's do an 11-minute break. The grammar won't take long today. We won't do any reading practice. We'll do grammar, but it won't take terribly long. I do want to kind of have a quick discussion from the Google form, and then do some practice. So let's come back at 4:20. So if you guys want to stay logged in, that's fine. If you want to sign up, come back on, that's fine too. But we'll come back at 4:20, and we'll be done at 4:45. So I'm going to resume the recording. And again, we'll try to get this done by 4:45 today. So let me share my screen. We're going to talk about the grammar on the Google form. Here we go. Okay, so clauses. That was kind of mentioned often in the video for Unit 3 for SAT writing. What is a dependent clause? So a dependent clause is basically a statement that does not sound like a complete sentence. So essentially it's a fragment. And that's grammar we would have. Independent clause is the opposite. It is a complete sentence, and we call that, but what type of error when you have 2 of those? That'd be a run-on. A non-essential clause kind of looks like this. Like you could say, my friend Jack, who is very intelligent, earned all A's in college. So the middle phrase there, I don't need it. Like I said, my friend Jack earned all A's in college, I've been fine. But having that phrase in the middle kind of helps a little bit, just to give a little bit more information. That's what non-essential clause is. It's a description of a subject in a sentence. And what punctuation marks could we use? You could use commas to separate them. You can use dashes, or you use parentheses. I do use parentheses for my own writing, but yeah, that's what you could do. An apostrophe is for a contraction. Like if you have that, that's like saying it is. Or it could be possessive. Like I said, my wife's car. I'm talking about the car belongs to my wife, right? So yeah, so that's kind of just a little rundown there. Any questions so far about that? Nope, okay. So let's look at some problems that we can work through. Close that, close that. So you can see there's 5 categories, all the things we just talked about. So let me kind of do a couple from each of these here. I'm not going to do too many, just in interest of time. Since many unskilled workers wish to achieve a better standard of living, including healthcare, paid vacation, high wages, and they have dedication of efforts to furthering their education and hope of securing such benefits, that sounds like a fragment to me. So if I kind of get my highlighter out, and then this part here, so in essence, I mean, sometimes you look for the commas for a break. These are both dependent clauses, so we kind of need to fix this somehow. So I kind of like C, because let's actually read it again. Since many unskilled workers wish to have better standard of living, including healthcare, paid vacation, and higher wages, they have dedicated efforts to further their education hopes of securing such benefits. So what's happening in Brown is an independent clause. What's happening in red is a dependent clause. And it's fine to have both in the same sentence with a comma separating them. So since blah, 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 okay, fine. But it depends on the statement afterwards. It's leaning on it. Because you could have just said they have dedicated significant efforts to further their educations in hopes of securing such benefits. That's a complete sentence in Brown. But it's nice to have the dependent clause to add a little bit more description. So that's why C would fix it. Look at the next one. The results of these efforts being expansion of middle class. That's usually a problem. The word being. So this is totally a dependent clause here. That's not okay on its own. So we need to fix it somehow. Usually verbs in ing are not good. They kind of cause that. The results of these efforts has been expanding. That probably could work, but we're talking about the results. So I'm not sure if I like has been. That's sort of verb screen. These efforts have resulted in expansion. Now I like that because efforts and have. You have subject verb agreement, which is a separate grammar rule to consider. And that's being satisfied. So I'm kind of like in CD. That just sounds awkward. So those are things you want to look out for sentences and fragments. Any questions about those? Okay, and again, that was page 193, 1 and 2 are both C. I'll probably have you guys do some of these other ones for practice. So let's, I don't like this one for run-ons. That's a pretty bad one. Let's look at these here. So look at 1, 2, 3, 4. So you decide to start a feud with your next door neighbor. Have you considered the repercussions? So you have that. You have that. What's happening here is that now you got yourself an independent clause right here, and another independent clause right there in the same sentence, only a comma separating the two. That's not enough. So definitely it's not A. Now I do like the period or the semicolon. The problem with B is that now you're gonna have this happening. But have you considered and that's an issue because that's not a complete sentence, but have you considered the repercussions? If you had a comma, that probably could work. But you know, that's a dependent clause now. Oh, come on. And so that's why you don't want to go with B, because the semicolon separates it's like a period. Separates two independent clauses. So that's me out as well. This is interesting. Actually, both of these work. That won't happen on the real thing, obviously. Because D's fine. And C's, I like D a little better just by putting the word but. They would never do this to you because I think that's kind of ambiguous, but both are correct. Because both actually, we'll see separates two independent clauses with the period, which is fine. D is fine because you put the word but, which is okay. And there's a thing called fanboys. I should know what all these, but like I know if you use word like and or but or, that's usually okay for alleviating or getting rid of run-ons. That's a strategy you could use. I forgot what the other ones stand for, but yeah. Look at 2, you may want to do that because you would hate to wake up tomorrow to the sound of construction. This is especially true for your neighbor's sword who would like to build a spite house. So I'll go and clear this. You may want to do that, meaning consider the repercussions. And then if I look at so in this case, I have 2 independent clauses again, because those both sound like their own sentence. So you want to dissect it that way. So no A is out, that's run on. These also run on. It sounds weird, truer. It's kind of awkward, but that's also run on too, because the column's not enough. The semicolon's a problem because what you're saying afterwards here is a dependent clause. You need two independent clauses with a semicolon, as we talked about earlier. So I like B. You may want to do that because you would hate to wake up tomorrow to the sound of construction, especially if your neighbor is the sort who would build a spite house. So that's why B works. That one. So that's just example run-ons there. And again, any questions at all about that? No. Okay, cool. We'll keep moving. Colons, dashes, semicolons. So let's look at how these are used. Come on, look at 1, 2, 3, 4 if we could. Okay, Maria's a real problem on her hands. She has guests coming for dinner and she does not know. So here we have another run-on. Again, independent clause, independent clause. So we don't like that. That's run-on. I like G. One's good for elaborating on the previous statement because you're elaborating on that. Interestingly, the dash does the same thing. So these are both correct. So you won't see it on the real thing. This is a typo from the people who made this these materials. B just sounds awkward. Yeah. Which is guest coming over for dinner sounds really awkward. Luckily, she happens to have all the ingredients for chicken piccata. And then that's a list. You definitely want a colon there for that. It's also good for lists. And by the way, A and D are the same. Period slash semicolon, because they serve the same purpose. You can't have two answers here, so they kind of knock each other out. Having guests over are going to be quite expensive. The ingredients cost her $88, but she loves to entertain. Yeah, I'll just start a new sentence. That's a run-on. The period's kind of a good thing. Oh, oops, sorry. I lied. It's awkward actually to go with B because you have that dash in the middle there, which you would have to then do a comma if you did that. But you can't change that. So B is actually out. My bad. It's actually gonna be C. Here's the reason why. Let me erase the other stuff so it's not distracting. Excuse me. Okay. So coming back here again. So, and then let me highlight this in green. So The red is what we call a non-essential clause. You don't need that statement. You could just say what's in green. Having guests over for dinner can be quite expensive, but she loves to entertain guests. That would have been fine in green. But because you have a non-essential clause, a middle phrase, that's what really what it is. It's a middle phrase used as a description. You can do 2 commas, 2 dashes, or you do parentheses. Because you're kind of committed to a dash here, you definitely need a dash here. That's why it's C. So that's how you have to break it down. And we can see that again for number 4. She used to work in a fancy restaurant, only as a hostess, but she dreamed. So that right there also is a non-essential clause. You don't really need to say it, but it's nice to have. It's not necessary because the sentence would be fine without it if you got rid of it. She was working in a fancy restaurant, but she dreamed of someday work as a chef. So I like B because it has the dashes before and after. And you do need the word only as part of it. The word only here is kind of misplaced. We see A we know is out because we need that extra punctuation mark. And that's inconsistent with a dash and a comma. You need to be consistent there, so that's why it's B. So that's how you, a lot of students kind of struggle with that because they don't really break it down that way, but that's how you want to look at it. So I want to be able to model that process for you guys. So any questions there on that one? Nope, okay, cool. So let me clear all that. So we're almost gonna be done here. Yeah, more on colons, dashes, semicolons. Cons and essential clauses, we kind of already talked about that. We'll talk about it again. Look at the first 2 here. Like many American traditions, the idea of trial by jury can be traced back to English law. So by putting the 2 commas here, is that really a non-essential clause? No, because if you got rid of it, like many, the idea of trial by jury, that just sounds weird. It should be like many American traditions then. So I just go C for that one because the non-essential clause is a middle phrase with 2 commas, and the American tradition is not being set up that way. English common law, this isn't originated in the King's courts. So I would definitely go a comma right here. So that's being set up as a non-essential clause. Because you could have just said, the way I put in green, English common law informs the law systems and framework of the U.S. federal government and several other states. That could be its own sentence, a complete sentence without the middle phrase. But since you have it, you do need a comma. So after courts, I definitely need a comma. So I definitely don't like A or B. Yeah, but I don't like that one. I don't like C, so I'm gonna go D. So you want to be very deliberate with your commas. So that's, again, more of the same stuff there. And then lastly, more of the same stuff. Possessive plurals and contractions. This one's pretty straightforward. I've always been passionate about environmental causes because I believe they are important. Let's see. I also believe that it is our responsibility. So you want a contraction. C doesn't mean it's not even a thing. So it would be, unfortunately, there are many challenges. And challenge should not be possessive. B doesn't make any sense. So let's see that one. there are many challenges facing our world that must be dealt with soon. One challenge in particular is the threats facing the oceans. Or facing its oceans, the oceans that belong to the world. Yeah, so I would be on that one, yeah. And one thing is for sure, if we don't stop fishermen, they're not likely to, so I'd probably say C. To stop, and that should be possessive. I think that's fine the way it is. Because you're talking about fishermen, that's plural. Of course, that's singular when I say his or her. They are makes no sense, there makes no sense, but that's plural as well. So you need to be consistent as well. So that's just more on the same stuff. There's still more for practice here, which we can probably do at a later time, probably do as a group. So I think what I will do is I'll assign another video for math, another one for grammar. Maybe I'll just keep it at that because I know we're back at school and it's kind of hard to get back in the swing of things. So I'll just give it 2 videos in a Google form. I won't assign anything else. And we'll just do the other problems we didn't get to in Unit 3. We'll kind of do together at a later time. And we'll see what happens if there's any news with the College Board and the June SAT. If somehow things change, it cancel, we'll adjust the schedule accordingly. But yeah, we'll just kind of sort of just take it week by week because things seem to keep changing a lot. And hold on a second for you guys to sign off. I just want to just take a quick snapshot of today's attendance. So let me do that really quickly. Attendance, April 14th, 2020. Almost done here. Hold on a sec. Cool. I think we're all squared away. So we'll do this again next Tuesday, and it won't be as, I think today might have been a little rough because you guys had 2 classes, if you had A and B periods. Today was a weird day, but next week, you know, there's only a class in the morning. Next Tuesday is only a C period in the morning, then you have office hours. So next Tuesday should be fine. And I think if we go Tuesdays moving forward with this remote learning stuff, I think it won't be as overwhelming. So sorry if today's just a little overwhelming if you have A and B periods today. But we'll just aim for the next, yeah, I think we're set to meet for the next 3 Thursdays, 21st, 28th, and May 5th. Now, if it happens, see if there's any changes to the testing calendar. So, okay, I think we're all set. Enjoy the rest of the evening, and I'll see you guys later.
Thank you.
Yep, have a good one. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye, you're welcome.